No, I'm at Alan Shepard.
No total questions.
I'm at, you guys probably won't even appreciate this, but I got to meet Lowell Thomas. Lowell Thomas. He was a very famous television type guy. He was a reporter in World War II. He was, let's see, Ronald Reagan came through. You lose track. Yeah, I need to keep moving what I can. So, Mission Control Center, they renamed the Operations Center to Christopher C. Kraft. And you saw Dr. Kraft in that previous video that you watched. And this is the Mission Control patch that expressed what Mission Control is all about. The Latin is achieved through excellence. Saturn V, because we were launching Saturn V. Icons of Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, which are here. The missions that we were supporting at the time. And Sigma, which is that E symbol, that meant that we were a team, that we did things together. Stars and such. But anyway, that was a very important scene. Yes.
Does NASA almost have to wait for like satellites to go over like the area around like Florida, so when it launches the rocket, it doesn't slide into the satellite?
You'll see. No, there's lots of there's lots of talk about how much debris is out there. And yes, debris is a problem in orbit. But if you were to take one of the satellites, and one of the big satellites, maybe Hubble is a big Hubble, would probably, well, it's just about as big as this one. So in the scheme of things, if you were to try and find Hubble and look at it on a map of the world, you wouldn't be able to see it. It'd be smaller than a pinprick. But when they show pictures of it and diagrams of the satellites and all the stuff, they make each one look like it's huge, like big as a state. So they really aren't. There's a lot of them, but they're really small and lots of space in between.
What is that like?
That's called a sigma, and that's a Greek letter for E, but it's actually for S, and it stands for, it's like a capital S and R, and it stands for sum, or how we all have to work together. This is a picture of the Mission Control Center. This is the says Christopher Kraft. That's the old, that was the office building. That's the building with the cafeteria and living area in there that doesn't exist anymore. It's all office space. That's the old Mission Control Center. And from here over is the new Mission Control Center that supports Space Station. That's Dr. Kraft. He's kind of like the original guy that it all started. His name is Christopher Columbus Kraft. Yes, Ireland. Yes, that's where I was. Many years.
Can you point to where your console was?
Where what?
Where your console was?
I'll get to that later.
Okay.
Mission Operation Control Room is also known as the MOCR. We brought that up in the video of the last review. This is a diagram of the floor where the mission control is. The room is just this part right here, that's in the circle. And we have the display screens there. There was a viewing room behind it. And there were the consoles up there where we sat. And then support rooms all around the rest of the building. This is kind of a diagram of just this part right here. And that shows there's the displays. There are stairs that walk left to get into the viewing gallery, and then the consoles over there. And this is, I think this is the Apollo or Gemini configuration. Because as they changed programs, they would change the layout of the room according to the need. You remember in the video they talked about the trench? This was the trench, and then this was the systems, and then this was the flight director, and these were the managers. When I was there, my console was up here, and at one time it was there, and another time it was over there. Several different places.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that it said surgeon on there. Is that a doctor that was?
Yeah, they had they always had a doctor, they call him a flight surgeon. In the military, anywhere where there's pilots, there is a special doctor that is trained in called flight medicine. And they understand all the problems that a pilot might have health-wise, and they help keep them healthy. And so we always had on console a flight surgeon who knew the astronauts and had kind of been their doctor. And he would monitor their health while in orbit. And he was one of the few people during the mission that could talk to them. You got to speak up. VIPs. They would be people who were like senators or astronaut family members would go there, people like that.
How much money did you earn every year?
How much money did I earn every year?
Yeah.
I was on the civil servant salary, so I didn't earn that.
So where is that recovery? Is that where the actual system is, like,
On the far right here, it says recovery. Who was in the recovery room?
Oh, yes, when they land out in the ocean, and then they monitor the recovery of the spacecraft. This is a picture of the control room. Just kind of give you a feeling. It's kind of a wide angle lens, so it makes it look a lot bigger than it really is. These are all the different consoles. Up along the top is plaques for each mission that you fly out of that control room. And for each mission, there would be some team, somebody that was performed exemplary during the mission, and that person would get the honor of hanging the plaque. And, so I never hung a plaque, but two of my guys that worked for me during the mission did an outstanding job. They got the in the very back. Now speak up, speak out.
Why is there like a brown TV on top of one of them?
The TV?
Yeah.
Oh, because we could watch TV about what was going on, because it would get closed circuit TV that you could see.
Why do you have such old TVs?
Because they were brand new and state of the art at the time. Just that's an interesting question. There was not a single computer in this room. No computer. These were all monitored. We went to a big, called it a mainframe computer, that was as big as this room in the first level of mission control. And so all of this was driven by mainframe computer and it's backup. And so part of the, one of the jobs of the flight controllers is to define what's going to be into those screens.
What mission is this taking?
This is, this is a lunar, this is landing on the moon. And let's see, I don't see what mission, I think this is just a sample. But this is way old, I think there's some, yeah, there's some shuttle. This is the, they made this area into a national historic place. And so this is just set up to be like a museum. Let me keep going. This is during the lunar landing, during one of the missions. This is what it was like working there. Everybody was busy doing their work on the console. An interesting thing, how many of you have been to a bank and have to drive through where your parent would put a tube in the little sending unit and it would go up? Well, that's how we communicated before we had faxes and all the other Xeroxes and such. These were those tubes, those canisters that you would put them in. And you would put it in here and you would select where it would go down into the first floor and send it to whoever you needed to send that information to. But they're pneumatic tubes, we call them tubes. That was a very useful part of using the console. So that was really old, older than those TVs.
Are you in that photo?
No, but I am not. This is before my time. Sure.
Did the computers ever shut down when they were in flight? What would you do if they did?
We scrambled. Everybody was scrambled. None of these guys worked on the computers. There's a whole other team of people.
Oh, do you know what all the buttons do?
I do. We'll get into that. Another view. These buttons were all communication ones. You could select from these buttons who you can talk to. These were event lights, so if something in your system happened, one of those lights would light up and let you know about it. These were just telemetry points, and it would give you an indication of what's going on your system. For me, with the remote manipulator, it would tell me the angle, it would tell me whether the arm was moving, and help me know where it was. You could put video up there so you could watch what's going on. This was a panel that could select which display on which screen. These were status lights, this was green, yellow, and red. And the flight director would say, you heard it say, go, go, go. Sometimes you tell everybody to go green, or go yellow, and when you're ready, go green. And each of those lights would show up on a panel of the flight director, so we knew everybody's status. Because these, you can unscrew them here, pull it out and work on it, and you put it back in, or pull it out all together and replace it. Let's see, I'm going to go on. Another view of the consoles. I put that out there because each of the flight directors had up their write-up of their specific team. And so there's to give you an idea of the importance of each of the teams. This is a view from flight directors, the flight director's console. This was the management console, looking out over the room. And these are flight controllers during the mission. You saw one guy, when the flight directors were sitting around the table in the video, there was guy there, kind of one we shared, Chuck Lewis, that was him. As a younger fellow. This is they're busy trying to talk things out. Dr. Kraft, Jimmy Crane, that's Tom Aaron. This is a console you wanting to know what everything does. This is just kind of close up so you can see the various pieces. I'm running out of time, so I'm kind of hurrying. Part of the duties of a flight controller is, number one, you learn your system. Number two, upon what you know of your system, when you manipulate it, you knew where all the telemetry points were, where all the data about your system comes from. And then you define where it should be on the display, what events you want to monitor. And so, as a flight controller, you built your console. You also had to write a shuttle systems handbook, which you wrote up. You made diagrams of your system. You wrote failure modes and effect analysis, which is what happens if something fails. If something fails, then you have a malfunction procedure, which as a flight controller you write. If something fails, you know what to do, and you thought about it ahead of time. You also have developed flight rules, so that you know what you can and cannot do while you're doing the mission. And you had to know your timeline, you had to know your mission rules, tons of things. Those were all part of your duties as a flight. And then I showed you the Mission Control Center, and there were consoles with you. But supporting each console was what's called a system support staff. So behind each one of these guys, there was another room full of people that were monitoring, following, and helping. So it wasn't just one guy, it was a team doing everything, which was the Sigma that we talked about at the sun. This is what one of the rooms, the back rooms look like. And yet, back in the day, everybody wore suits and no speed like this is the remote manipulator. This is what I worked on. The diagram was 60 feet long. It was so fragile it couldn't support itself on gravity. So it only worked in space. This is a picture of it in space. It's lifting out. It's like long duration exposure facility, the LDEP. Just to remind you that spaceflight is a very, very hazardous enterprise, and we lost people in failed aircraft accidents. We lost pilots and astronauts. We lost people that were working on the shuttle. We had failed fatalities during the maintenance operations. Let me show you that.
Monday morning after the fire, Gene Kranz speaks to the team. Decades later, he can still recite the words from that day.
Spaceflight's terribly unforgiving. Perilousness, incapacity, neglect. I don't know what the Thompson Committee will find as the cause of this accident, but I know what I find. We were the cause. The simulators weren't ready. Our software and mission control didn't function. Procedures weren't complete. Nothing we did had any shelf life. And no one stood up and said, damn it, stop. Now, from this day forward, mission control will be known by two words, tough and competent. Tough meaning we will never again shirk from our responsibility because we're forever accountable for what we do or what we fail to do. Competent, we'll never again take anything for granted. We'll never stop learning. When you leave here today, you will write these two words, tough and competent, on your blackboard, and they will never be erased. They will serve as a constant reminder to the sacrifice of Grissom, White, and Shaffy. That's all.
Monday morning at
So, I wanted to just 1 second, I want to reiterate what he said about tough and competent, about doing the right thing. And you guys sometimes will be put in a situation where you know what's the right thing to do, and then maybe peer pressure, somebody trying to tell you to do something else. Or you may see somebody doing the wrong thing. And you, as a flight controller or anybody, need to be able to go up and say, stop, that's wrong. You're hurting that person, you're bullying somebody, or you have a friend that may be going off to do something that's going to hurt themselves or another. You have to have the integrity, the fortitude to say, stop, no, this is wrong, and deal with it. And that's part of what it takes to be a flight controller. And when you see something going on wrong, when you've got a problem, you speak up. NASA failed to do that with the Challenger accident, and we lost the Challenger, and we lost the crew. They failed to do it on the Columbia accident, and we lost the crew in Columbia. We failed to do it, as Crane said, in the Apollo 5, and we lost the crew. It's a hard lesson to know that you just lost friends, colleagues, people that you work with. And so learning to do it at your level, the things around you, help you help you have what it takes in the future when somebody's life may depend upon it. So I wanted to encourage you to learn, stand up and count. One last question or one last?
We have about 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
So if you want to do any questions, that would be great.
Okay, I'm gonna let you call on this.
Okay, Aubrey. Say that one more time, I couldn't hear it either. Oh, what's your favorite planet?
Earth.
You're what?
Maisie.
Voyager's the farthest we've gone, and the closest we got to the sun was satellite.
I don't know these, but we sent satellites to the Earth. You don't have to get all that close to it.
Seriously, what's the closest?
Thank you very much. I really don't know.
Mason.
Do you know why there is something over when it is not? Do you know why
Well, I think what we're talking about is, we talked about in class, if it was a little bit closer, we'd burn up. If it was a little farther away, it was too cold to sustain life. So why is that? That's what he's asking.
Why is that? I think that's because God created it that way. The way He did it, so
Jesus is awesome.
Fisher.
What if you're out in space and you don't have like a string connecting you to the rocket?
yeah.
Then you accidentally let go and you just start drifting away. If you propel something while you drift away, it'll bring you back.
Possibly could,
Because like
Sixth grade.
possibly could, but it's a matter of mass. If you throw a Phoebe the other way. I think when you do something about your same mass.
Yes, Brendan.
What's your favorite dwarf planet?
Oh.
Dwarf planet? I don't have one.
Monkey, monkey.
Okay. Yes, Mrs. Ripma.
How much computer power did NASA use when you launched the first shuttle mission?
The shuttle started out with a computer that had, I think it was 256K. Now you're talking gigabytes and terabytes of computers. So it wasn't much, and it was a special military department.
So is my watch more powerful than the shuttle? Or my phone?
No. Your phone has as much memory as the shuttle.
Addie.
I worked, first shuttle mission, I worked Skylab reentry. I worked all the shuttle missions starting STS-1, first shuttle mission, missions up till, I probably worked 20 missions.
Hey,
You know when they're going to the moon next?
Soon, within the next 5 years.
cool. Asher.
What happens if like a rocket like explodes in space?
Bad things. It's a very bad thing.
What happened?
Most of there's in the rocket part is what gets it out of the Earth's atmosphere, and then it goes away. It goes back in the atmosphere, goes up, and then you just have the satellite. That really, and those don't.
Juliana.
So, let's go back and say something doesn't explode. What happens to all the debris?
It eventually falls back to Earth and burns up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever seen like a rocket explode?
Only on video.
Bruce.
If someone invited you to be the first person on Mars, but there's a 50-50 chance you could make it back, would you go?
No.
Interesting question. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, would you?
Probably not.
Hey, that's actually an interesting question. How many of you, if you were given the chance to be the first one, like to go on a mission to Mars, but there was only a 50-50 chance that you would be able to ever make it back? Come back, class. Okay. Why don't we do, yeah, okay.
It will take you 12 months to go from the Earth to Mars. So you're going to go there. Once you get on Mars,
Well, can you say that again? That's traveling in a,
in a spacecraft,
it would take you 12 months to
12 months
get there?
to get to Mars.
That's almost all you.
And then, once you get away the orbits and all that lined up, you have, if everything goes perfect, you have 12 days to be there, and then you have to come back. Otherwise, you will not be able to come back for another 12 months. So you either have to stay there for a year, or you gotta come back after a week.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, I think our time is sadly up. I know you guys have so many questions.